Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is a type of anxiety disorder we still have much to learn about. Yet as we learn, others suffer. With conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan over a decade old and continuing, PTSD has become very real in our society and in our returning soldiers.
My name is Anthony Rogers. I'm about to graduate a drafting technology student. I'm going to UAF here for, 3 years now. Born and raised Fairbanks, Alaska. Graduated at West Valley High School. And it was an interesting time when I got in. I actually graduated September 12th, 2001, the day after the 9/11 attacks. I mean, I was sitting in the drill pad waiting to graduate the next day to go to my duty station when we started watching the planes hit. So my whole career was based upon war. I'm a Purple Heart recipient. I have PTSD from, I'd attribute it to my first tour in Iraq. Both tours I was an IED hunter. First tour was the roughest. I spent my 22nd birthday in the field hospital getting stitches removed from the side of my head, trying to get back in the Army. Obviously, when the PTSD came up, they said no right away. They're like, there's no waiver, there's nothing we can do for you. And they said goodbye, and I've never heard from the Army since. I'm on their list of do not talk to pretty much, because they don't have a use for me anymore. So I was really heartbroken. So now I had to figure out what I was going to do. And it's tough. It was boring. My first attempt was a car mechanic. I went to a UTI, and I excelled at school. It's too easy. I mean, I know what needs to get done. I have the discipline from the Army, but it never actually captured my attention. Like, I know how to do it, but I'm bored with it, you know. So I moved back here to Alaska and started school with really no aim. I just knew I needed a degree in something so I can show my next employer, like, hey, I have this piece of paper. I know what I can work, you know. Give me a job, let me do something. I just need to make a paycheck, you know. I guess that's where I find myself now. Today, like, I graduate here in 2 weeks. Get to move on, bigger, better things. It's pretty exciting. When I came back after my second tour, I don't see a change in myself. You know, for me, it's normal progression. But people that knew me before and were close to me then, they're like, dude, there's some huge changes you're making. And me, I was oblivious to them. And, you know, maybe I was still caught up with what I'd been doing, you know, because when I first went to school in Texas, UTI there, 3 months prior, I was in a Black Hawk assaulting houses. And then 3 months later, you know, I'm in a mechanic school. Now, really my only hobbies is I do jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I fight occasionally. I fell in love with it right off the bat. With school, I had a flexible schedule, and I was going 2 to 3 times a day. I'm 3 fights in now. I'm 3-0. And man, it's weird because fighting and jiu-jitsu was almost like a godsend to me. I don't have any aspirations of UFC and all the making millions of dollars or holding a title belt or anything. But for me, it's more of a release for my PTSD. I'm so worn out, I don't have the energy to be angry or anything. You know, I can feel PTSD creeping up on me sometimes, but it's like, I have no physical energy to do anything right now. You can go away, you know, and it really helps things keep in check. And, you know, the competitive nature, I guess I kind of felt like a bottle waiting to explode. You know, after the war, I was like, man, I'm an adrenaline junkie. I need to do something.
A New York Times report from earlier this year shows that close to 1 million of our military veterans are currently attending U.S. colleges. Here at UAF, Rogers is within range of graduation and hopes to reverse a trend that shows only a 3% graduation rate for our returning warriors. For Extreme Alaska, this is Micheal Ives.